We request everyone to kindly rise as the dignitaries are arriving. And we request everyone to kindly maintain silence. We want to kindly take their seats. Good morning and a warm welcome to one and all present here. Honorable Chairman and Founder Trustee Dr. Harishchandra Mishra Sir, respected Trustees Shri Ashish Mishra Sir and Shri Aditya Mishra Sir, Chief Guest and Keynote Speaker Shri Ajoy Mehta Sir, Guest of Honor Shri Amal Savle Sir, Director AIMSR Dr. Sunita Srivastava Ma'am, Director ASBM Dr. A.S. Suresh Iyer Sir, Principal ACA Architect Jamshid Bhiwandiwalla Sir, Architect Rasika Chodankar Ma'am and Professor Radha Ambekar Ma'am, respected panel speakers, respected AGI professors, Registrar Ma'am, Administrative Officer Ma'am, non-teaching staff, our fellow batchmates and juniors from AGI. We heartily welcome you all on the occasion of Foundation Day. I, Nidhi Goradia, and my co-host Vidhi Nayyar will be taking you through the first half of the event today. To mark the beginning of the event, we request everyone to kindly rise for the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे.
We request everyone to kindly take their seats.
As we all know, Goddess Saraswati symbolizes knowledge and wisdom. Lighting the lamp stands for optimism and enlightenment. We request Director Ma'am, Director Sir and Principal Sir to escort Chairman Sir, Trustee Sir and all the dignitaries for lighting the lamp. We request everyone to kindly rise for the same. Thank you, sirs and ma'am. We request the dignitaries to kindly take their seats on the dais. We request the audience members to kindly wait until the dignitaries take their seats on the dais. We request the audience members to kindly take your seats.
As a part of the felicitation ceremony, we would wish to pay respect to our Chairman and Founder Trustee, Dr. Harishchandra Mishra, sir. A brief about Sir before we invite Director Ma'am for the felicitation. Sir is the visionary and the pioneering force behind the Aditya Group of Institutions. His unwavering commitment to education has made a significant difference to the students and the faculty of AGI and society at large. By establishing and nurturing a range of educational institutions under the AGI banner, Sir has empowered countless individuals, enabling them to contribute meaningfully to their communities. We request Sir to join us and we request Director Ma'am to do the honors. Can we have a huge round of applause? Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
We wish to pay respect to Honorable Trustee Shri Ashish Mishra, sir. A brief about Sir before we invite Director Sir for the felicitation. Sir has played a significant role in inspiring the use of technology, latest trends from the industry, and their application in the various educational programs at AGI. Sir is driven by the passion for developing the students and faculty of AGI. We request Sir to join us and we request Director Sir to do the honors. Thank you, sirs.
We wish to pay respect to Honorable Trustee Shri Aditya Mishra, sir. A brief about Sir before we invite Architect Jamshid, sir, for the felicitation. Aditya, sir, leads Aditya Center of Excellence by guiding all innovative courses. Sir's core competency lies in driving new courses that align with emerging industry needs. Furthermore, he leads the Borivali Design Festival for AGI every year, fostering creativity and collaboration among students, professionals, and the design community. We request Sir to join us and we request Architect Jamshid Bhiwandiwalla, sir, to do the honors. Thank you, sir.
We would like to pay respect to Dr. Rajan Saxena, sir, Strategic Advisor, AGI. Due to some last-minute family emergency, sir has not been able to make it for the event this afternoon. Here is a brief about sir. Sir is a distinguished academician and author known for his expertise in marketing, corporate strategy, institution building, and leadership. He served as the Vice Chancellor of NMIMS. We would like to express our gratitude towards him for guiding and motivating all of us. Can we have a huge round of applause for sir?
We request our Honorable Trustee Shri Ashish Mishra, sir, to join us for the welcome address.
Honorable Chairman, Shri Harishchandra Mishra ji, Honorable Chief Guest, Shri Ajoy Mehta ji, our esteemed guest of honor, Mr. Amal Savle ji, respected Trustee Aditya Mishra ji, Governing Council members, distinguished faculty, staff, dear students, and all our well-wishers. Good afternoon. Very warm welcome to all of you as we come together to celebrate this momentum occasion, our Foundation Day. Today, we mark the formation of Shri Ameya Public Charitable Trust, a day that holds great significance for all of us. It is a time to reflect on the journey we have embarked upon and to honor the progress we have made. We are deeply honored to have with us today Shri Ajoy Mehta ji as our chief guest. Mr. Mehta, the former chairman of MahaRERA and ex-municipal commissioner of BMC, has been transformative leader in the urban governance and development, and we are privileged to hear from him today. We are equally delighted to welcome our guest of honor, Shri Amal Savle ji, partner at EY. His leadership and expertise in the consulting space have left a significant impact, and we look forward to his thoughts and reflection on this special day. This Foundation Day is not just a celebration of the past, but also an opportunity to renew our commitment to the future. The institutions under the trust, such as Aditya Institute of Management Studies and Research, Aditya College of Architecture, Aditya College of Design Studies, and Aditya School of Business Management, have become centers of academic excellence and innovation. The legacy we have built, thanks to the vision of our founders and tireless efforts of our faculty, students, staff, continues to grow stronger. The achievements of our alumni speaks volumes about the quality of education we provide, and their success reinforces our resolve to keep pushing the boundaries of what is possible. As we reflect on the milestones we have reached, I would like to take a moment to acknowledge those who have been key to this journey, our esteemed faculty, including Architect Rasika Chodankar, Architect Rita Nayak, Dr. Vritti Parikh, Dr. Krati Sharma, CA Vinay Tiwari, Architect Salman Chauhan, Architect Varsha Swar, have been the guiding forces behind the academic excellence our institutions are known for. We are fortunate to have visionary leaders at the helm of our institutions. I would like to especially acknowledge Architect Jamshid Bhiwandiwalla, our principal, whose leadership has strengthened the foundation of the Aditya College of Architecture. Dr. Sunita Srivastava, Director of Aditya Institute of Management Studies and Research, whose dedication has been instrumental in shaping the future of management education here, and Dr. Suresh Iyer, Director, Aditya School of Business Management. whose guidance and expertise continue to drive innovation in our academic programs. We also cannot overlook the dedication of our administrative team, led by Ms. Seema Kedia, Administrative Officer. Their hard work behind the scenes ensure the seamless operations of our institutions, and we owe much of our success to their tireless efforts. A special thanks is also due to Dr. Rajan Saxena, Vice Chairman, Governing Council and Strategic Advisor. He is former Vice Chancellor, NMIMS University, whose leadership and vision continue to shape our future. Along with the Governing Council, Dr. Saxena has been instrumental in guiding the strategic direction of our trust, and we are truly grateful for his invaluable contributions. Lastly, I would like to express my gratitude to all the trustees, stakeholders, and well-wishers who have placed their trust in our vision and mission. Your unwavering support continues to inspire us to reach new heights of success. Before I conclude, I would once again like to extend my heartfelt thanks to our distinguished Chief Guest, Shri Ajoy Mehta ji, and our guest of honor, Shri Amal Savle ji, for joining us today and sharing their wisdom with us. We are deeply grateful of your presence. Thank you for being here on this special day. Let us continue to move forward until united in our shared commitment to excellence, and together we will create a brighter future for the generations to come. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your unique ways of keeping us all motivated and to focus on our goals. Your speech was extremely inspirational.
We would like to invite Director Ma'am to share about the journey of excellence at AGI with all of us. Here is a short introduction about Ma'am. Ma'am is a widely traveled management professional with more than 4 decades of experience in various capacities as Director, Dean, Professor, Consultant, and Corporate Trainer. Ma'am has represented the Institute while signing MOUs for academic collaborations with several foreign universities including the Swiss School of Management, Switzerland, NI Business School, Spain, Lincoln's University, USA, and Leaders Institute, Australia. She is the recipient of several prestigious awards, with the most recent ones in innovation and leadership. These awards presented to Ma'am in 2024 include: first one of the top influential women in education leaders; second, Outstanding Dean in Higher Education Award; and the most recent one, Best India Research Inventor Award. She is the sculptor of human character, a seasoned scholar, and an inspirational mentor. We would now like to invite Director Ma'am to address all of us.
And Nidhi for introducing me with such wonderful words. Can I request for the presentation to be put up? Honorable Chairman and Founder Trustee, Dr. Harish Chandra Mishra, sir, respected trustees, Shri Ashish Mishra ji, Shri Aditya Mishra ji, our chief guest and keynote speaker, Mr. Ajoy Mehta ji, the Chairman of MahaRERA, an inspirational person. We have been talking to him and we are deeply inspired by his presence here. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us today. Mr. Amal Savle, sir, I think he is going to talk to us about the inspiration that he has sought through his experience at EY. That is going to be extremely important to us. So thank you so much, sir, for being with us. I would like to extend a hearty welcome and my sincere felicitations to ASBM Director, ACA Principal, Radhika Madam, Rasika Madam, all the wonderful faculty colleagues of AGI, non-teaching staff, and above all, the future captains of India Incorporated, the wonderful students who are seated here and listening to all of us. I think today is a very special day for all of us. On this special occasion, we need to spend some time to reflect on the past, to think about the passion that has been driving and is going to continue to drive Aditya Group of Institutions, because it is only passions which are able to elevate the souls to great heights. We are very inspired by our founder trustee and chairman, sir, who, by guiding us on a day-to-day basis, has been motivating us and keeping us busy and engaged in terms of bringing the institute up to newer heights. On this occasion, which is momentous to all of us, we have been preparing for a long time for the Foundation Day to be celebrated. We have actually been going through the manner in which the group of institutions has been able to establish each of the identities for all the 5 institutions run under AGI. AGI is a conglomerate of academic institutions. Can I have the slides, please? No, we need the other presentation. Yeah. So can we just move to the next one, please? Okay. Journey of excellence. As we can see on this slide, the institute, AGI, the group of institutions, is celebrating 13 years of contributing to education and creating young, dynamic professionals who are ready to take on the world. We have our alumni in all parts of the world. We are extremely proud to have them there. And the AGI group of institutions is entering into the 14th year of its existence. Can we have a round of applause for that? This could only get achieved because of the inspiration from our chairman, sir, and the dedication and the motivation provided by both our trustees, sir. As we can see here, 13 years of making the difference has not come easy to us. We recall that in the year 2011, when our chairman, sir, had founded the institute, he wanted all the students to go through an educational journey which would be intellectually, socially, and personally transformative. And I think his dream has come true. Can we hear it for sir and the other 2 trustees, please? In this journey of excellence, we find that all these institutes have played a significant role. If we start with Aditya Institute of Management Studies and Research, together with Aditya School of Business Management, these are the 2 institutions which are into management education. ACA, that is Aditya College of Architecture, Aditya College of Design Studies, and above all, Aditya Center of Excellence, which has come up in a big way in terms of filling the gap between academia and industry requirements. So all these institutions put together are striving towards becoming leading educational hubs, not just within the city, but also in the country, and creating name and fame through academic collaborations all across the globe. I would like us to spend some time thinking about institute rankings. These rankings reflect the relentless patience and commitment of the management, the faculty, and the students in striving towards achieving quality on a consistent basis. With great pride, I would like to share Top 100 B Schools in India Survey Report 2024. And we are happy to share with you all that AIMSR is ranked at a commendable 4th position, ASBM at an impressive 6th position among the top private institutes offering these programs in the city. Not just that, moving ahead, we have a crown on the cap of the Aditya Group of Institutions in the form of ACA getting the 1st position within the top education institutes and alternative careers published by Times. These rankings are endorsed by success stories which are the articles that keep appearing in Times of India. In Times of India, we have very recently, during this year, published articles talking about navigating change, getting ready for the future, together with articles which have talked about creating and cultivating the minds of people in the architectural field and BVOC as vocational design. I would like to now next talk about accreditation. Accreditation serves as a mark for quality and our continued commitment towards sustaining not just quality in teaching and learning processes, but also in terms of research, extension, student support, progression, and many more dimensions. So with great pride, I would like to share with all of us that we have been accredited by the National Assessment and Accreditation Council, both AIMSR and ACA. A round of applause for this accreditation. This has inspired us to work on a daily basis in order to meet all the standards which are required by quality education. ISO 21001:2018. This is an international standard designed for educational organizations. So we have received the accreditation from TUV Sud South Asia Private Limited, which has certified all the institutions within AGI for complying with the Educational Organizations Management System in accordance with ISO 21001:2018. This is another feather in our cap. A loud round of applause for that. As an institution, these academic collaborations have enabled us to have a global outlook. So whether it is SSM, Swiss School of Management, to Skyline University College in Dubai, to Leaders Institute in Australia, all of them, we have collaborations in terms of sharing knowledge as well as research collaborations. So this enriches and enables the students to think on a global platform. The memberships that we have with the industry associations has further added on to the way in which we become an industry-facing institution, which keeps changing the syllabus by receiving inputs from the industry experts. And we are in constant touch with all these organizations, starting from NASSCOM to CII, ICIB, FICCI, MDISA, AIMS, AIMA, and IMC, Chamber of Commerce and Industry. So with this wealth of resources available to us, we are looking forward to creating a larger and a more, I think, indelible mark in the society and the community of education. I would like to share a couple of highlights through a slideshow in the form of a short video where we have captured students' activities, events, and achievements. So can we go ahead with that, please? So the journey is going to continue. The guiding philosophy of our management is do not follow where the path leads. Go instead where there is no path and leave a trail. And that's exactly what AGI is going to promise to do. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am, for bringing out some of the best moments that all of us have shared here at AGI. We are extremely motivated and inspired to take this journey ahead with excitement and enthusiasm.
We would now like to introduce our guest of honor for today's event, Shri Amal Savle sir, partner EY. Here is a brief introduction about sir. Amal sir is a seasoned management consulting professional having 25 years of experience specializing in digital and core transformation in the banking and the payments industry. His journey started from being a developer and over the years have evolved across technology, architecture, sales and management consulting. Currently, he leads the digital and technological transformation agenda at Ernst & Young for the financial service sector. Throughout his journey, Sir has held leadership positions at several prestigious organizations, including Ernst & Young, Boston Consulting Group, Deloitte, Accenture, and IBM. Sir has spearheaded several strategic programs, including setting up of greenfield banks, executed complex digital builds, and set up the largest core banking platform in India. He has worked in Indian geography with brief stints in the US and Asia Pacific region. We now request Sir to join us, and we request our trustee Shri Ashish Mishra Sir to extend a floral welcome to Sir. Can we have a huge round of applause?
We request Sir to
kindly
address all
address.
of us.
Good afternoon, everybody. Dr. Shri Harishchandra Mishra ji, Ashish Mishra ji, Aditya Mishra ji, our guest, chief guest today, Mr. Ajoy Mehta ji, and the entire leadership team of the AGI Group. To begin with, let me thank you for this honor. It's an absolute privilege to be standing on this dais with luminaries such as these. I do consider it as an absolute privilege. Thank you for this. Today, what I wish to do is spend a few moments reflecting on my journey in the consulting world, try and talk about where management consulting is headed, try and reflect a bit more on what kind of expectations would a management consulting firm have from a B school like this, and share my experiences over these years. Hopefully, some of these experiences might be of use to you and might save you some hardships that probably me and my generation went through in figuring out what management consulting is. So, to just, talk about the consulting industry itself. This is an industry that's growing very fast in the last few years. We're looking at a CAGR of 10+%, significantly over 10+% last few years. The industry has bounced back big time post-COVID era. In fact, there's one of the few industries that did fairly well even during the COVID era. And over the next 5 to 6 or even 7 years, we're looking at almost twice or a bit little over 2 times the growth in the industry. the key message here is there's a lot of growth in this industry. And when I talk about management consulting, I'm essentially referring to serving all segments of the market, right from manufacturing, banking and financial services. You have government sector, pharma. A whole lot of these sectors are thriving, are growing. And that's where the management consulting industry comes in powerfully as both advisors and executors. And I'll probably elaborate a bit on what I mean in each of these contexts in a few minutes. But fundamentally, I would look at management consultants bearing the torch of both being the trusted advisor for the senior leadership of any organization, as well as doing the grunt work needed to execute and deliver outcomes. And mark my words, outcome is the focus here. It's all about delivering outcomes in the world of management consulting. So when I try to look at key segments that matter or key market segments that I see, growing very aggressively over the next few years, primarily it's banking and financial services. I see government as a sector, the government spending across both central, state, even local bodies have been investing a lot of money. So there's a lot of growth in those sectors. And third is, of course, manufacturing. The India Incorporation, led by Prime Minister Modi ji, is currently, investing a lot of external investments coming in. So there again is a lot of action happening there. And this is exactly where a management consultant comes in. And I would just like to share my definition of management consulting. And I don't know if you noted, but I never started as a management consultant. I started like a simple technology developer 25 years back. My life was nothing beyond a computer screen. It was only about knowing the next best programming language and nothing beyond that. As long as you are able to compile code, you are a happy man and you would go home and sleep peacefully. But over the years, what I have realized is management consulting in very simplistic and fundamental terms is just two things: problem solving. And I'm breaking this term problem solving also in two parts. One is problem. So the first expectation is you understand a client problem. And I'm saying that in no simple terms. I mean, understanding a client's problem in my professional career I've seen has been the most difficult part. It's almost like a doctor trying to diagnose a patient. He doesn't ask you, which disease you have. He would probably ask you for the symptoms and try to figure out what's exactly the root cause of your problem. And that's where I would want to reflect on a bit more on today. Any management consultant who walks into a CEO's office, a CFO's office, he needs to first figure out what is he in the room for, what are the problems who is expected to solve. Then comes the second part of the word problem solving, solutioning. Now solutioning, again, there are technical solutions, there are operational solutions, there are solutions that need to meet certain standards, certain guardrails of finances, regulations, so on and so forth. But the key is, fundamentally, it's these two parts: understanding the problem well across all its dimensions, thinking about the solution across all the guardrails that a solution must comply to. So that in very simplistic terms and at a super high level, that's what we look at in management consulting. And when I say a management consulting firm looking at a B school, trying to understand, trying to have an intake of fresh young minds as yours, there are many things that we look at. Fundamentally, again, very simplistically speaking, it's two simple capabilities. One is the aptitude and second is the attitude. Aptitude is reflected from your past background, your scores in the past, your college education, what you've been doing in your college, your extra activities, so on and so forth. So to a good extent, aptitude is a reflection of what you've done so far. The second part, attitude, is the golden key, because attitude is what tells us what you're going to do next. How will you fit into the industry? And I might probably even go ahead and generalize the term attitude over here. It's not only applicable to management consulting, it's something that every industry would look at. Attitude is what will make your a career, be it as an entrepreneur, be it as a corporate professional, whatever be the situation, the attitude is what's going to matter, and that's the biggest thing that we look for. Now, when I try to break down attitude as well, it's again a very generic term. Attitude could mean anything on earth, right? So I would just again want to be a bit more specific, try and define what attitude even means over here. And that's where I would probably leave you with a few classic traits of an ideal consultant, of an ideal corporate professional. These are some of the traits, if you imbibe, if you have, or you demonstrate over your career, I'm very sure that you'd have a very successful professional career wherever you go, be it management consulting or beyond in the industry. To begin, the first one is challenging the status quo. I've seen with a lot of fantastic B school grads who walk into our firms and follow every instruction to the T. There are very few who would question us if I ask somebody to go and deliver a solution in 3 weeks and ask them to take 5 steps. Everybody will run and start following that. And there will be a couple of them who would come back and say, can you just tell me why am I supposed to do this? What is the rationale behind doing this? So not accepting something just because at face value, just because someone said something, is a key trait. Every time you face a client, he might have expectations out of you, but if having the ability to stand up, to walk back to them and actually challenge their ask itself, that's an important trait that I think management consultants need to have. The second is asking the right questions. I've seen, again, in my career, especially in BCG when I was there, I had seen this many CEO conversations. They would walk in, you would be humbly sitting in the room, and he would say, tell me, how do I grow my revenue 10% over the next year? And you still don't know. The next thing a lot of consultants do is, okay, try and go and figure out how to get the revenue bumped up, look at marketing, look at finances, other aspects, look at product. The key question is, why is the CEO asking that question to you? So challenge a question, ask more questions to define different dimensions of the problem. The dimensions of a problem would, could be financial, could be regulatory, could be operations, could be anything. But then unless you understand, and this, I normally give a classic analogy to a lot of my friends. If I ask you to tell me the difference between Samsung TV and a Sony TV, give me 50 differences between the two. A lot of people would run down, Google up, figure out those 50 features, do a tick mark, and do a comparison. A smart consultant would ask me, what is the use case of your TV? Are you planning to watch a 4K movie, or are you planning to set up an ad in a lobby, or are you trying to do something different? So that's an answer, right? That's a question that defines my simple ask. Maybe I just want to set up a simple ad in my lobby, and your answer then drastically changes. It's neither Sony, it's nor Samsung. Probably you would buy the cheapest model available in the market, and you would just set it up. So this is the essence of asking the right questions, until you, so that you understand this problem perfectly well. So once you understood the problem, then it's a matter of solutioning all of these, and that's where thinking aloud, trying to solution comes in play, right? And just one second. So that apart, we have capabilities, which will be required beyond the industry. These are generic traits that you will need even beyond your professional careers. And that's where I would kind of pause and, reflect on capabilities such as being humble. Now, this is something I'm jumping the ship, right? I talked about professional growth, the way you act as a management consultant. I almost jumped ship over here and came down to being humble. Now, one thing, if there's one big thing that I have learned out of my entire stint, it's about being humble and having gratitude. Even in the few minutes that I spent with Chairman ji and Ajoy ji, the conversations have been of complete humility and gratitude. And that's one thing I wanted to just answer, kind of reflect here. All of us, wherever we have come from, we are standing here because somebody has invested in us, be it our parents, our siblings. Either they have invested time, money, passion, emotion. A lot of these investments have been made into you and your careers. And there has to be gratitude towards that. There are a lot of us who would not be in this room today. There are a lot of us who would not have the privileges that we are fortunate to have. And these are some of the things I would, want you to carry forward with you. In fact, if there is in the entire message that I carry, the one message I would definitely want to underscore is be confident, but be humble and have gratitude. And as students and as my school would always, highlight, Vidya Vinayena Shobhate. If you want to learn, be humble, keep learning, be a successful professional. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for sharing with us the fundamentals of digital and technological transformation. We now request our trustee, Shri Aditya Mishra, sir, to extend a token of gratitude to sir.
We would now like to introduce our chief guest and keynote speaker for today's event, Shri Ajoy Mehta sir, former Chairman, MahaRERA. Here is a brief introduction about sir. Ajoy Mehta sir is from the 1984 batch of the IAS. He holds a BTech in Civil Engineering from IIT BHU. He has done his MBA in Finance from UK and also holds a degree in Law from the Mumbai University. Amongst the various district postings, he was the Chief Executive Officer of the Nashik Zilla Parishad, Collector of Ahmednagar and Municipal Commissioner of Nasik during the Kumbh Mela. He served in the Government of India from the year 2000 to 2005. He was the Chairman and Managing Director of MahaGenco for 4 years and was instrumental in setting up power generation projects of over 6,000 megawatts. Sir held the post of Chairman and Managing Director for MSEDCL, the largest electricity distribution company in India, for 6 years. During the 10 years in the power sector, Sir has also held the charge of Principal Secretary Energy for 2 years. He was the Municipal Commissioner of the Municipal Corporation of Greater Mumbai for 4 years and formulated the development plan for Mumbai, which will remain valid till the year 2034. Sir has also planned and initiated the execution of the Coastal Highway. Sir was empaneled as Secretary to the Government of India and was Chief Secretary, Government of Maharashtra for over 1 year. Sir's last assignment was at Chairman MahaRERA. We now request Sir to join us, and we request Chairman Sir to extend a floral welcome to Sir. We request Sir to address all of us.
Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for the kind words and the introduction. To start with, my greetings to all of you on the Foundation Day. It's actually a privilege and also an honor to be here with young minds like you all. It's very difficult to talk to young minds. They're questioning minds. They won't let you get away so easily. हमारे जैसे लोगों को कुछ भी बोल दीजिए तो हम छोड़ देते हैं, और ज़्यादा कुछ बोले तो आप कहते हैं chill dad. So young minds is a difficult thing to talk to. The Honorable Chairman and Founder Trustee, Dr. Harish Chandra Mishra ji, Aditya Mishra, Ashish Mishra, Mr. Savle, who is the chief guest here, Dr. Sunita Srivastava, Director, Dr. Suresh Iyer, Architect Bhiwandiwalla, Architect Rasika ji, and all my young friends present here. Today is the Founders Day. And when you say Founders Day and you celebrate Founders Day, why are you celebrating Founders Day? Is it to listen to lectures from people like us? No. The whole idea of celebrating Founders Day is to now remember the principle on which this institution was founded by your founder. What was the principle that was in his mind when he founded? And today, as we have moved 13 years or 11 years down the line, are we still holding on to the principles? Principles don't change. Times change, people change, the world changes. Principles never change. Principle of non-violence will never change. Principle of doing good will never change. Principle of working hard never changes. Principle of being honest never changes. The world can change. Your friends will change. Those principles on which this institution was founded, are they still valid? Are we following that or not? I was looking at what were the principles that led to Dr. Mishra to set up this institute. The first principle that he spoke about was academic knowledge with practical skills. I'll come to that individually. These are words which have a lot of meaning. Initially, हम पढ़ लेते हैं, हाँ ठीक है, academic knowledge with practical skills. The second principle that he looked at was innovation, societal and economic change. And the third thing which I saw over here also on the TV screen was hope is the pillar that holds the future. These are the three principles on which this institute was founded. Now where are we? Let me take up each of them and see where are we today. If you see the first principle, knowledge with practical skills, what's happening to knowledge? Especially knowledge when it comes to higher education. Education is not just education. It's primary education, it's secondary education, it's higher education, it's specialized education. Now, if you see knowledge, in India, higher education started somewhere around 1850, when the first university was set up in Calcutta. That's where institutionalized higher knowledge started. We set up a university and said, yes, वैसे we had Nalanda, we had old schools of education. Education was not new to India. But when we set up a university, we said, yes, this is a structured way of imparting higher education. So we set up that university. So from 1850 to 1950, you saw this running. Then in 1950 came what is called the institutions of excellence. We set up the IIMs, we set up the IITs, We set up the AIMS, the All India Institute of Medical Sciences. So these came institutions of excellence कि हाँ भाई, education तो है, but इस area में we must specialize. Engineering में we must specialize. Management में we must specialize. Medical science we must specialize. We were a growing country. We were becoming powerful. So we decided in 1950s to set up institutions of excellence. We moved further ahead. And we realized knowledge is changing. How you give knowledge is changing. How you impart knowledge is changing. Education is changing. In the 2000s, we allowed what is called the private sector in education. Why did you allow private sector in education? Because we realized that education is just not one vertical. कि भाई MBA पढ़ा दिया मैंने, engineering करवा दी, medical करा दिया तो हो गया. नहीं. Now you see the number of courses that are being offered. Variety of courses from cooking. अब cooking को भी दो में कर दिया, veg, non-veg. उसको भी आगे बांट रहे हैं कि this, that. It is endless. Education is becoming endless. Specialization is becoming endless. So the government said, no, we cannot do this alone. We need private sector. We need private entrepreneurs like Dr. Mishra to come and handle this. Let's let them into the educational field, and they came into the educational field. Earlier, if you see academic knowledge, when your founder says academic knowledge, earlier academic knowledge was limited to maths, statistics, science, a bit of language. That's it. But as you went on, academic knowledges went on changing. And what came, what I called the crossroads of education. Now, education is not on the road. It is not a road which you are following. I am following engineering and I shall be an engineer. I am following medicine and I shall be a doctor. No. Now there is the biggest opportunity is coming in the crossroad. जहाँ crossing है. लोग कहते थे crossing पे तो कभी मत खड़े होइए, पता नहीं क्या हो जाएगा, accident हो जाएगा. Road पे चलिए. एजुकेशन में आप अगर आप क्रॉसिंग पे खड़े हैं, यू मेड इट, अदरवाइज सॉरी, रोड पे तो बहुत चलने वाले हैं. एंड दैट फर्स्ट इंस्टेंस विच आई रियलाइज इन अबाउट 2003, आई हैड गॉन टू बॉस्टन एज अ पार्ट ऑफ अ गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया टीम. वी वर एट दैट टाइम प्लानिंग टू ब्रिंग मीडिया लैब टू इंडिया. आई डोंट नो हाउ मेनी पीपल नो व्हाट मीडिया लैब इज. Media Lab in the US does some cutting edge research on practical items. There are two types of research. One is blue sky research. न्यूटन ने किया ग्रेविटी का, आइंस्टाइन ने किया E is equal to mc square. एक होती है जिसको बोलते हैं प्रैक्टिकल रिसर्च. हाउ कैन आई मेक अ कार मोर फ्यूल एफिशिएंट? हाउ कैन आई मेक दिस रूम मोर एनर्जी एफिशिएंट? हाउ डू आई मेक अ बेटर साउंड सिस्टम? So we wanted to get that into India. India was industrializing, so we went there and we had a meeting with all these people. While I was there, I met a person, an Indian, and we got talking. तो सबसे पहला सवाल, हम इंडियंस बाहर जाते हैं तो कोई इंडियन दिख जाए तो पूछते हैं आप कहाँ के हैं? तो उन्होंने बताया मैं यहाँ का हूँ. ओवर. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन was, what is your educational qualification? I asked him. He says, I am an electrical engineer from IIT Mumbai. Very good. And I have migrated to the US. What are you doing? I am the head of brain research in Harvard Medical School. Are, IIT is electrical engineer. How are you heading this thing? So he said, come with me, let me show you my lab. So he took me to the Harvard Medical School. We went there and saw his lab. You can't believe the cutting edge research that was going on in human brains. Of course, they were using animals. Now today you may not allow the use of animals, what they were doing at that point of time. But the kind of research, what they were doing is fundamentally putting chips in the brain. And he said fundamentally brain is nothing but an electrical activity. Brain is a simple electrical activity. When you eat, you need to digest. The electrical activity impulse goes, please secrete insulin. Insulin comes out and your food is digested, the sugar is digested. Now if the brain does not give the electrical signal, the insulin will not come and you will become diabetic. So can I not give an electrical signal to the brain कि भाई अब insulin secrete करिए? So crossroad, an electrical engineering graduate heading medical science, and he was a top level scientist. And this was in the year 2003, 2004, around that time. Just about 2 months back, I read in the paper that an American company, and most of you know that company, has come out with a medical device which will be implanted in the brains of human beings to correct lifestyle disorders. See, this is where the game is. सीधी लाइन पकड़ के तो बहुत लोग चल रहे हैं. The game is at the crossing. Find out. There is no sanctity about it. कोई भी field किसी के साथ crossing में खड़ी है, how well you find it out, how well educational institutions find it out is where the game is. The second thing which I see from his founder statement is practical skill. When you talk of practical skill, तो पहिला चीज क्या दिमाग में आती है? ज्याला आपण म्हणतो घरात बंटिया आहे ना, प्रत्येक घरात एक बंटिया असतो. काय खराब झाला की त्याला सांगा 2 मिनिटात दुरुस्त करून देईल. माइक खराब आहे, माइक दुरुस्त करून देईल. मिक्सी खराब असेल ते दुरुस्त करतील. मोटरसायकल असेल ते दुरुस्त करणार. ही विल रिपेअर एनीथिंग. गुड स्किल. आय एम नॉट सेइंग डोंट डू दॅट. Practical skill for people like you, the first practical skill that you must have is communication. You may have the best ideas, you may have the best brains, but if you cannot communicate, you are nowhere. Sad, but that is what it is. Now you can call communication marketing, you can call communication selling myself, selling my ideas, it can be anything. But communication skills is the first thing. And communication skills is not inborn. बहुत लोग मुझे कहते हैं नहीं मेरे को तो टैलेंट ही नहीं है. नो, इट्स नॉट अ टैलेंट. यू हैव टू प्रैक्टिस. आई वॉज वर्किंग विद अ पॉलिटिशियन, सो एक दिन उन्होंने तब ये वीडियो कैमराज नए नए आए थे. ह्यूज वीडियो कैमरा ही गॉट. मैंने कहा सर आप वीडियो कैमरा का क्या करेंगे, आपको तो फोटो लेने की टाइम नहीं, तो वीडियो कैमरा से कहाँ निकालेंगे. बोलेंगे नहीं, मैं अपनी स्पीच प्रैक्टिस करने के लिए वीडियो कैमरा लगा रहा हूँ. टू सी हाउ. उन्होंने मीटिंग में भी लगवा के रखा. नॉट दैट ही वांटेड टू रिकॉर्ड द मीटिंग, बट हाउ डू आई कंडक्ट माई सेल्फ इन अ मीटिंग. आई एम द चेयरमैन ऑफ अ मीटिंग, आई एम अ मेंबर इन द मीटिंग. हाउ एम आई कंडक्टिंग माई सेल्फ इन दैट मीटिंग. सो यू वुड रिकॉर्ड एंड सी. So fundamentally, communication skills will come from training, from hard work. It doesn't happen overnight. It is not inborn. Next important thing that is there, which I see, is engaging with the future when it comes to practical skills. When I mean engaging with the future, a lot of youngsters come to me and they are very scared. Ki AI is coming, artificial intelligence is coming, all these jobs will become redundant. In fact, in one American university I was reading that initially people were objecting to artificial intelligence being used for writing an assignment. You know, अगर आप assignment में artificial intelligence use कर रहे हैं, ChatGPT, you can tell him, please write this assignment for me in 500 words. In 2 minutes it will write and give it to you. So they said it is cheating. You know, you don't use artificial intelligence, do it yourself. Then a university came and said, no, it's there, why should we not use it? I want to see how well you criticize what he has written. I'm not saying don't use artificial intelligence, use it. But उसने जो लिख के दिया ChatGPT ने, can you criticize? Can you coordinate? Can you say भाई ये चीज़ इसने नहीं लिखी, इसको इससे connect नहीं किया? I want to see how you critique it. Criticize मतलब गलतियाँ नहीं. Criticize मतलब उसको और कैसे improve कर सकते हैं. That is where your talent is. So don't get scared of technology, adopt it. Technology cannot move you out, please. Technology will never disrupt you. Till the human mind works, technology हमारे से पीछे ही चलेगी, हम उससे आगे चलेंगे. Don't worry about that. कभी भी. So the next thing that you need in practical skill is how do I challenge technology and stay one step ahead of technology. The next thing that comes to mind is to learn is very simple, but to unlearn is very difficult. To start smoking is very simple, but to give up smoking is a very difficult thing. So if you want to learn and you want to go ahead in life, learn to unlearn. There are things that you have to unlearn. There are things that you have to give back and say, "No, I'm not going to follow this. मैं आगे इस तरह से चाहूँगा." So please learn to unlearn. It's a very simple thing, but it's a very difficult thing to follow. But unless you drill it yourself, you cannot. So these are practical skills in life. You may be anything. What is practical? कि कोई भी सब्जेक्ट में मैं कर रहा हूँ, whether it is finance, marketing, design, architecture, I must have these principles in mind, these practical skills with me, therefore I can succeed in life. The next thing that is important, especially for a generation like you, is to future-proof yourself. Future is exciting but not simple. You have to future-proof yourself. How do you make yourself future-proof? What do you do when you meet the future? The first thing that comes to my mind is innovation. Innovation doesn't mean that everybody has to be a Newton or an Einstein. Everybody must invent something or discover something. No. Simple innovation, as I was listening to Mr. Savle, ask simple questions. There's a very simple management study which I don't know whether they've taught you or they'll teach you. There was a little town where they had a lot of ice cream shops. And people would eat the ice cream and throw the cup. So town used to get dirty. तो लोगों ने एक मीटिंग बुलाई कि भाई इसका क्या इलाज हो सकता है. तो किसी ने कहा जी कप को हम खरीद लेंगे 10 पैसे में, तो लोग फेंकेंगे नहीं, हमें दे के जाएंगे. डस्टबिन बना दीजिए, अट्रैक्टिव बना दीजिए, लोग का घर ले जाएंगे. तो वन लिटिल फेलो सिटिंग एट द बैक सेड कि सर व्हाट इफ पीपल एट द कप, वो कप ही खा ले आइसक्रीम के साथ. व्हाट केम आउट ऑफ इट? द कोन. Cone came out of a simple question that was asked. What do we do with these cups? He said, why not make a cup which people ate? तो आप आइसक्रीम भी खाते हैं और वो कप भी खा जाते हैं साथ में. There is nothing that dirties the town. So learn to ask questions, learn to think differently. There is nothing in asking and thinking differently. It's not difficult. Only thing, your mind has to be open rather than criticizing. It is better to find a solution. So think in that term. Next, please remember, flexibility is important. You have to be flexible. You cannot be rigid. I finished my 40 years in service, and generally I was sitting with one very senior retired person from the private sector, retired at a very senior level, headed a multinational. So I was just telling him, what should one do after retirement? So he told me, yes, people like you, board position pe chale jaoge, advisor ban jana. But I'll advise you one thing. Go and meet a monk. Meet somebody who plays music. Meet an artist. Talk to them. See the ideas that you get. Now, a person like me, I have nothing to do with music. I cannot even play an instrument. एक मैंने टीचर रखा था, उसने मुझे कह दिया आप बहुत बेसुरे हैं, तो मैंने उसको निकाल ही दिया वहाँ से. But he said, you sit with him and see what you will learn. What you will understand. See life differently. So do not be rigid. Think of other avenues, think of meeting people who you really don't know about them, and see what you can understand, what you can learn from these people. Let me tell you, learning is lifelong. It doesn't stop. It's very unfortunate that as we grow old, our learning stops. College chhod dena, kahe ko padhna hai. Please keep 2 habits, and keep those 2 habits very close with you. 1, read. Read everything under the sun. Don't say, I am a finance man, I'll read only finance books. Read a book on history. See the beautiful history. Read a book on maybe economics. Read a book on engineering. It may take you a little time to understand, but see what you understand out of that. Secondly, besides reading, please do not forget the art of listening. After 40, हम सुनना भूल ही जाते हैं. हमको अपनी ही बतानी है. मैंने जिंदगी में ये किया, मैंने वो किया, मैं ये हूँ, मैं वो हूँ. Yes, fair enough. है, सुनो ना सामने वाला क्या बोल रहा है. He may be young, he may be old. He may be senior to in life, he may be junior to in life. He may be a success, he may be a failure in life. A man who has failed in life may teach you more than what you would ever learn. In fact, I met a youngster and he told me I was very worried because I started my own startup business and that failed. So मैंने startup शुरू किया, it failed, and I was scared whether I'll ever get a job. And he says, you won't believe it, I got job faster than my colleagues. Why? Because the person who took me said, आपने एक business fail किया ना अपना, now you know what not to do so that the business does not fail. सुनना सीखो. Listen to what people say. That's very important. Next important word that he has used is societal. Please remember that in society, when you occupy managerial positions, you become top architects, you all are designers, remember 2-3 things. 1, there is poverty in the country. It's not that it's over. There are issues regarding health. There are issues regarding women's empowerment. As a business head, as a structural head, what can you do about these issues? These are important issues. Don't overlook them. No business can succeed by overlooking this. Nothing can succeed. In fact, when we were doing the development plan from Bombay, one of the things that came out was that women form only about 20% of the workforce. Total अगर 100 लोग काम कर रहे हैं मुंबई में, 20 ही women हैं. And we were doing the development from Bombay, I was the commissioner then. So we said, why? What is the reason? Why are women not coming into the workforce? And you'll be surprised, the one big reason. We don't have public toilets for women. You want women to be drivers? You want women to be delivery girls? You want women to go and do some repair work in your house? But you don't even have a public toilet. Simple things. So please remember that when you are trying to empower somebody, you are trying to do something for some level of society, please remember where is the problem and try to find a solution for that. Without that, that business cannot succeed. So remember that. Lastly, do not forget that climate change is a reality. No business, no professional, no idea can succeed without looking at climate change or incorporating climate change in your work culture. You have to know climate change is a reality. It is a threat. You can see the way rains are going, you can see the heat, you can see the winters. It's there. It's not a story anymore. So anything that you do, please remember that you have to be green in your thinking. You have to ensure that you protect the environment and hand over the same environment to your children which your parents handed over to you. Lastly, let me tell you, I have finished 40 years of my journey and I finished on Friday. So Mr. Mishra was asking me, what are you doing? I said, today is, technically speaking, the second day of freedom. As I finish 40 years of my service and I look at people like you who are going to start, let me tell you, you all are in very exciting times. These are very exciting times. We didn't have this. When we came out, there were only two things available. Engineering karo ya medicine karo. Teesra kuch tha hi nahi. Jobs mein, there was nothing called a private sector. It was either the government or the public sector. There was no private sector. Chote mote do char the. That's about it. You all are coming out in extremely, extremely exciting times. The opportunities, the choices that you can make are infinite. I'm using the word infinite, the choices that you can make. And fortunately, I was in a service where I got to meet all sorts of people. Good cooks, good chefs, good people who can just clean the house beautifully, excellent drivers, scientists, engineers, doctors, and I'm surprised at the kind of work that people are doing, irrespective of their qualifications. Qualification kuch hai aur kar kuch aur raha hai. And he's excelled. Just keep in mind that you are in exciting times. Let not technology disturb you. Let not the future disturb you. With your simple principles in life, you will make it and you will do well. There is no shortage of work in this country. There is work for everybody, provided you are ready to accept it and you are ready to do it correctly. Thank you so much. It was nice conversing with you.
Sir, you are surely a role model for all of us present here. Your impressive journey of leading several public sector undertakings is truly inspirational. We thank you for your valuable insights and inputs. We request our trustee sir, Shri Ashish Mishra sir, to extend a token of gratitude to sir. Can we have a huge round of applause for sir? Thank you, sirs.
We would now like to call upon Architect Jamshid Bhiwandiwalla sir to say a few words. Here is a brief introduction about sir. Sir is an architect with a master's in architecture and ancient Indian culture. Sir has contributed to a research program on urban water resilience in Mumbai. Sir specializes in restoring community institutions like fire temples and convalescent homes and was officially appointed as consulting architect for the Gujarat government on conservation projects in Udwara and Sanjan. We would now like to invite sir to address all of us.
My, what a day. A day where IAS officers are addressing us is truly a special day. I must first of all, I will not take any order in thanking people, but I think first of all I should thank Dr. Rajan Saxena ji for having conceptualized today's day, the Foundation Day, and what Ajoy Mehta ji rightly said, Founders Day. Yeah, so a big round of applause for Saxena ji, though he is not here. He's a true visionary. He's taking our place to the next level and very befitting after 30 years. It's the first Foundation Day that we are celebrating. And I was of the very similar opinion when Mehta ji said that it should actually be Founders Day. Our chairman, Dr. Harish Chandra Mishra ji's contribution to setting up this institution in this last 13 years has been immense. And a Founders Day is usually the day of his birthday. I just expressed that today morning. And it would have been wonderful if it was today his birthday, where we would all actually be celebrating and actually wishing him. We usually do that in quiet, but if it would have been a day celebrated as today, I'm sure it would have been an additional day. Nevertheless, today is an important day. There are fine people here. What better than having ex-municipal commissioner who has, a man at various crossroads, a man who has been at every crossroad and has taken those responsibilities with great pride, served our city wonderfully well, no better than a partner of us, Ernst & Young, that is there. It's truly a special day. I should thank both these dignitaries for making time out and being here and so wonderfully inspiring us through their talk. But our gratitude first goes to Dr. Harish Chandra Mishra ji. I'm really surprised why Sir didn't talk. He's a man of inspiring stories. Right from, I have heard him personally, and I usually, when I talk to our students who don't fare well in life or who have difficulty at times paying fees, his life is equally inspirational. He has come from really humble backgrounds, and there have been times in his life where he has actually had thoughts whether he would be in a position to continue education should he have not been part of various scholarships that the government have offered. Truly inspirational stories. I wish, sir, today you would have taken time out and spoken, though Ashish ji did represent us wonderfully well, but Mishra ji baat karte hai to baat hi kuch alag rehti hai. Similarly, his inspirational story of being inspired by his family to be able to take up the idea of education post his ideas of doing something for both his community and the city that he served for so long. These are stories that I think all our students should know. But first, I should like to bring to both our guests, sir, the student body that you see here is less than 50% that is sitting here. Actually, more than 50% of the students are sitting in classrooms and in lecture halls on the building above, and actually witnessing all of this through YouTube broadcast that is there. So this is less than 50% that our students that are there, and your talk has been televised and they have been hearing there, and they will soon now, the program is, the day is yet young. Yes, the day is yet young. There is a panel discussion that is to follow. Post that, there is a cultural event that the students are going to put up. And sir has been very kind enough to call a professional singer to entertain our students today. And then we will all break for lunch and snacks and things like that. Taking this opportunity, I thank both our trustees, Ashish Mishra ji, Aditya Mishra ji. You know, we in our architectural world, they say that when the client works closely with the architect, the projects come out of a very different level. Our trustees work very closely with us, and that is why we have been able to achieve this great standard or this cutting-edge understanding of being able to achieve new heights every day is because of their close coordination with us. Beyond that, Sunita madam, you have been an inspiration always. Ayyar sir, thank you for your close cooperation and things like that. And all those faculty and students who have contributed, who have painstakingly organized today's event. No event goes without meticulous planning and meticulous understanding of how the event is to follow. I thank all of you all. Most important of all, I thank all your presence here. I thank your patience as we escort the dignitaries for lunch. I request you all to be patient for the next set of events, that is the panel discussion, but naturally the cultural events are to follow very soon. Stay glued conclude for that. Thank you very much, and God bless our college, and God bless Mishra ji for keep doing the good work that he has started off with since the last 13 years. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We now request the student volunteers to escort the esteemed guests. We request the audience to kindly rise for the same and maintain silence. We request everyone to kindly take their seats.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Can we just request everyone to please settle down? Because we have come to a very exciting part of today's program, the panel discussion, where you are going to witness the industry experts sitting together and talking about tectonic shifts, which are going to be brought in by Industry 5.0. So now I'm going to hand over to the hosts to take the program further.
Thank you, ma'am. We would now like to invite Director ASBM Suresh Iyer sir to moderate the panel discussion on the topic Tectonic Shifts in the Capabilities for Employability and Industry 5.0. Here is a brief profile about sir. Sir is a marketing and finance professional and an operations generalist. Sir has 24 years of intensive exposure to sales, distribution, retail, marketing, commercial finance, and accounts across varied industries and geographies. He specializes in consumer durables and retail. Sir has more than 12 years of experience in teaching, research, and administrative leadership roles, including NAC, UGC, NBA, AACSB accreditation, and IQAC audit. We request Sir to kindly invite all the expert speakers from the industry for the panel discussion.
Thank you very much. We have a long day to go. I think we'll still enjoy multiple things. And a very good afternoon to one and all present here. We were actually listening to many people in the morning, particularly our chief guest and the keynote speaker, as well as our guest of honor. They were exactly trying to bring out what is happening right now in the industry and probably how this Gen X has to face this way forward. So that is precisely what we are going to try and address. You know, I have not prepared anything. That is how the world is all about. So the question is, how do we handle this? Without further ado, I'll start introducing our eminent panel, not in a particular order. The first up is an industry veteran with more than 32 years, 3 decades plus of experience across various industries, retail, distribution, supply chain, and somebody who has embraced technology like anything. we all belong to the same generation. I don't think he would mind me saying that. But the transition which he has gone through and the way he has embraced technology is phenomenal. And somewhere we heard the chief guest also talking about as long as the human intelligence is in existence, I think technology will be only enabling us. The person whom I'm talking about has worked in companies like Bata, companies like Reliance. He has been part of the Future Group. And now he currently heads a company called Mob Avenue as Vice President, Growth and Strategies. Please welcome Mr. Anant Ranjan with a rousing round of applause. Please, sir. I also saw an interesting quote which Sir likes. He talks about when we seek to discover the best in others, we somehow bring the best in ourselves. Wonderful, sir. I think that's a wonderful thought. Next up, this paper is just only to give me comfort, but otherwise, predominantly, I am trying to talk from a heart. Next up, the person says that I am a hardcore sales and marketing person. No technology, no artificial intelligence can ever replace a sales and hardcore sales and marketing person. And that too, person from a media industry, which is the sunrise industry. And he also has more than 30 years of experience in the media industry. Please welcome Mr. Satish Mendan from the Hindu Group, who is the national head of events and magazines. Next up, of course, to some extent, I can say that जहाँ पे हम खड़े होते हैं लाइन वहीं से शुरू होती है, in the sense that no organization can function without human resources. Whether technology, whether advancement, whether strategic management, whatever you want to do, AI, Industry 5.0, if you don't have the HR doing the intervention, I think no organization can successfully transform into what it has to be. So, my dear friend, and our own faculty, industry expert in HR, leadership expert, strategic change management expert. We are, one of the things which I saw was performance, high potential performance improvement. I mean, that was something new to me. So sir has worked in multiple industries best in the country and has joined us recently. So I still consider you as the most appropriate industry person. Dr. Devashish Rath, please. It is always good to have the HR on your side. It helps. Okay. You know, as I was talking, I was making an interesting calculation. We have about 127 years of experience sitting here. So more than 100 years of experience sitting here and who have also evolved with the times. And I'm sure we'll be able to get a lot of things out of this gentleman from the industry. And I'm sure there'll be a lot of takeaways for the generations, future generations who is sitting just next to us. As Sunita ma'am rightly said the context, we are talking about tectonic shifts in the capabilities required by anybody to be employable. That's the biggest challenge which the youth currently is having. And of course, at the same time, an organizational success is also dependent on how you are able to evolve as we go along. So the context is very simple. I'll be talking to each one of you in a very conversational manner, sir. So don't think I am rude if you're trying to cut off, because of paucity of time, we might be cutting it off. Otherwise, I would love to talk to you for next half a day. One thing which I'll start with Mr. Anand. We are talking about technology, almost getting into everything which we are doing. We are also talking about automation. Somebody was talking about AI and how this is completely taking over what the human beings are doing, though I don't fully agree. I just want your quick take on how do you look at technology in terms of how things are changing.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. Can anybody spot out the odd man out here on this panel? That's me. Okay. So there are two things. One thing is the experience shows on the head. And number two is they're always blazers. So I'm a down-to-earth guy. Please bear with me. And yes, of course, I come from a background. My name is Anant, and as Dr. Iyer was informing, I am primarily a chemical engineer, then got into the bandwagon of doing an MBA a long time back. And as the revered Mehta sir was saying, there were only two options, either do engineering or get into medicine. I did not understand medicine, so I took up engineering. And then I realized, no, this is not my cup of tea, going into the factory, understanding all those things. And during those times, a lot of automation was not there. So I decided, ये इतना कुछ अगर मेरे को सीखना है engineering में, factories में, why don't I become a civil servant? Then somebody told me, God, you don't have that level of getting into the IAS. So I took up the MBA and then started my work with Bata and then Fila. One thing which he mentioned which was not correct was Reliance. I never worked for Reliance. And so I've been an offline guy throughout my life, barring for last about 7-8 years, where I thought of venturing into an area which is not my comfort zone. So anything which comes with a comfort zone will not take you to the level that you want to reach. And you have to come out of your comfort zones. Ships are always safe in a harbor. But that is not what ships are built for. They have to go out into the sea to understand whether they are capable of... sorry if I got a bad throat, so please bear with me. Now, one thing I was... before I come down to your point, is what Mr. Mehta said, and very rightly he said, that to learn is very simple, and to unlearn is very difficult. And then you have to learn something else. I add to that is, having worked in the industry for the last 37 years, I'm still working, is today's generation does not want to listen to your mom and pop stories. You could be a Rip Van Winkle, you could be telling a lot of stories, but the current generation is just not interested. What I did in Bata, what I did in XYZ, so I can't bask in my past glory. So what they tell you is, what can you deliver to us on the table today? So that is more important. And that's what I believe in, is that when you have to light another man's candle, and that is what my philosophy is. If you have to light another man's candle, you have to keep your... Any question, answers? If you have to light another man's candle, you'll have to keep your own candle burning. So if you have to make others learn, it is not that you have to stop learning yourself. And you have to keep learning yourself and then impart whatever education that you had. Now coming back to what his moot question was, gone are those days when the artificial intelligence was not there. And human knowledge was the only thing which was available. Now there are restrictions to the human knowledge, understanding, right? And then repetitive work being done by the same person time and again, which eats up into your time and loses the productivity levels as well. So over the years, when the computers were being generated or being introduced way back in the 90s, nobody knew that computers was something which is going to be here for years to come in. There were a lot of resistance. नहीं job निकल जाएगी या यहाँ पे ये हो जाएगा. But then, if you see the last 2 decades, the job scene has gone up in terms of a different kind of an approach in terms of jobs. It is not the most menial jobs. It is something to do with computers. Now, 15 years from today onwards, if somebody does not understand the artificial intelligence, they'll be out of place, because that is going to be the language for tomorrow. So that is how we are going to embrace technology, the Internet of Things, the AI, the robots, everything to, I think
I'll come back to you, sir. Thank you. I think, sir, Satish, sir, this same question in a different context, because you come from media industry. So how do you look at technology in terms of how it is impacting your industry? Or probably you said that I'm a hardcore sales and marketing person. I don't really care how technology is coming in. But what I meant is technology is only an enabler. So how do you see technology as intervention in your media?
So good afternoon all. I think first I'd like to convey my wishes to the management here and esteemed professors here and all the rising stars who are sitting here for this auspicious day of Foundation Day. Second, this panel is fixed at a lunchtime, so I can understand I really want to ensure that next half an hour is interesting for all you guys, so that there is no slot, which I presume that there is a slot after this for the lunch for the students. So that is something important. So we'll try to keep it short and simple. Okay, I represent the Hindu group of newspaper. So I had the events for the Hindu group. Technology is very critical in every business for us, especially when the pandemic 19 happened, COVID-19 happened. We were knowing that we were working with Plan A, with digital integration to all our business. But post that, things changed for us. We, as a sales guys, we know that we have targets which we have to be, which we have to ensure that the targets are met. So most of us used to work on Plan A. We never had Plan B in place in the system. So COVID-19 taught us actually to work seriously on Plan B also, because suddenly 2-3 years, what happened? We all started working from home. Things were completely digitalization for us. And from the publication point of view, most of the sales force, what we had from the editorial side, we had to literally train them to ensure that they are back on track when it comes to the workspace, so that the work can continue. So what I see is this journey, what we had in last 3-4 years, indirectly benefited whole of industry, including the media. And where the media industry, at a time where we had 1 lakh plus newspapers, we have 400 plus magazines, 400 plus radio stations, some 500 plus channels. This entire media ecosystem had to reinvent themselves in this phase post-pandemic. I think, as we say, technology is need of the hour, and if that is going to help ease in our operations, ease in our consumer connect, it is very much to be adopted. And as an organization, we've also moved on in that approach.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Rath, I think your take on that, because you have to combine human beings with technology, and we would like to hear from you as how technology is changing the landscape of how things work in the industry.
Thank you, Dr. Iyer. Firstly, my gratitude to you for still considering me to part of the industry and putting me along with the industry dons here. Well, we have been talking about technology. Mr. Mehta made this point, and there is a lot of paranoia in the society about technology. But for the moment, if you reflect, the history of human civilization is the history of technological progress. When we are hunters and gatherers, millennia back, what did we do? We discovered fire. At that time, fire was a technology. A small stone sharpened and tied to a long stick become a spear. A big stone sharpened and stuck to a smaller stick became an axe. Technology has been there and it has been progressing right throughout the entire civilization. Without technology, civilization would not have progressed as it has progressed today. What happened in the first industrial revolution, Industry 1.0? The steam engine came in. It was a big leap, quantum leap, and therefore society could progress and harness steam as a power. The second industrial revolution came in, and that was all about electricity and assembly line production of Henry Ford. Now these two completely revolutionized the steam technology, and again it augmented the lifestyle. Friends, United Nations has 3 parameters to measure human progress. One is education, second is health, third is standard of living. Now, none of this would have happened, would have been possible had technology not been progressing side by side with the progress of human civilization. The third industrial revolution, Industry 3.0, came in with the computers and digitalization. The fourth was all about the Internet of Things and AI. And today, we are sitting here and discussing Industry 5.0, which unfortunately is not about the march of technology, it is about a rebalance of technology. Industry 4.0 took AI and Internet of Things to such an extent that the European Union called it out and said that no, Industry 5.0 must bring the human back into the center and technology cannot occupy the center. So, Dr. Iyer, to your question, technology progress should be viewed as an augmentation of human living rather than to be afraid of or be paranoid about.
Excellent point and interesting point from what Satish spoke about and what Anant sir, and now you just, hit the nail on its head. We have been using these 2 terms, VUCA and BANI. VUCA is obviously volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. We started using this in 1980s, and now we are in a position to kind of understand what it is and align ourselves. Now, the latest, what we're talking about is the BANI world. BANI is brittle, anxious, like somebody was talking about, meri naukri hai, nahi hai, kya hone wala hai. So one is brittle, it can break anytime, anxious, we don't know what is happening, and it is non-linear. There is no linearity in life, and it is totally incomprehensible. For example, sir was talking about COVID or Ukraine war, for that matter. But what I found the interesting connection between what you said is this: the underpinning of managing a VUCA world and BANI world has been the technology. The technology which has connected and has enabled us to, handle the idea of technology and the uncertainty of the world. So in this context, how do you look at again, I would like to look at your industry and how do you look at in terms of the transformation which is happening in your space?
Let me just show you what Hindu Group publication actually produced. That is important so that these young minds can understand. We have something called Sportstar. This is a sports-only magazine in India. So obviously when it comes to Sportstar content, I'm sure these young minds can understand what the content can be. We have something called Hindu Business Line, which is for the corporates, right? And the main line product is the Hindu newspaper, which is for the general public. So when it comes to this, and we have one more magazine called Frontline. So what happened during the pandemic, the biggest challenge was entire distribution network got halted because we were all at home, and in societies, none of the people were allowed, including your newspaper, wala was not allowed. So what is that we had to transform ourselves, because we knew that we had 10 lakhs, 20 lakhs plus circulation of Hindu, we had 1 lakh plus circulation for both the magazines. Business Daily, we had close to some 1 lakh copies. How do we ensure that these copies reach out to you guys? Because there was so much of restrictions when it comes to the pandemic time. So that was a big challenge internally for us. The only way escape was that, we ensure that at least we connect our readers through digital platform. So the entire system had to reinvent themselves to adapt this new age of technology, how we can reach out and how can the revenues come to the organization. We have to pay salaries to so many employees, right? So as an events head, I ensured that with the support of our editorial team and the leadership team, we reinvented the webinar format. There was huge source of revenue for us on webinar. We ensured that we had specialized topics discussed on webinar platform, and we ensured that each topic had specific sponsors, so that helps us to ensure that the revenue stream on webinar continues and there is a somewhat revenues coming to the system. We also, we had the second bucket, which is the events and activations. We did all digital amplification of most of our activities, name it. I mean, if you have to do a budget day event in a website, in a live streaming session, how can be done? So we had all the panel discussions on various topics, including the ministers coming on board on webinar platform, and we had multiple of those events. Third, we also ensured that there are award nights, if at all, we have to ensure that there are some programs. So we had created special software which would help, which will give a live experience of visiting an event where you go and register yourself and see the wall board of various sponsors, then see the content of the program. So everything was digitally transformed. So now what has happened is, over the last few years, our organization also have invested in AI. We also wanted to ensure what is the behavioral pattern of our readers, what kind of contents they are reading, what is their interest level, and how we can encash this, because getting young minds' attention, as we heard from two speakers, esteemed speakers, is not easy. Today, mobile phone is become a need and necessity. Every 2 minutes, every 2 seconds, you are actually checking your mobile watch, whether there's an SMS, is there any message, what's next update. So if at all I have to ensure that I have to, as a group, we have to ensure that this reader's attention is required. We did invest in AI just to ensure that the right reader's attention span is there in all our products. And there is a huge team on the back end. We have a digital lead team which is working on this. We have a digital editorial who is working on this. So the complete teamwork is definitely there, and the whole objective is to ensure that we get more readers for our products besides the reading habits.
Thank you, sir. Anand sir, same question.
Okay.
In a different context. I would like to just set the context also.
So let me give you a live example.
One quick, because I want a different
Sure.
take from you. You have been a master of conventional industries. I'm also from retail. So Rat sir made a point of how technology should, human being should be the center of technology. And I know you had a wonderful company where you are creating brand solutions, etc., through mobile and technology. So, keeping this in view, that you have been a master of conventional industry and you have embraced technology, how do you look at the idea of technology?
Got it. Okay. I know it must be getting a little boring for all of you. Let me give you a live example. Satish sir just mentioned that couple of newsprints they come out with. In the last 10 days, can you please raise your hand? Entire audience. So a couple of people, I did. Okay. How do you get updates on the news? Anybody from the digital side, they see their news on the mobile? Anybody from here? From this side? Am I audible at the back? Hey guys. Okay. So the difference is, when we all were brought up during an era where we used to have a newspaper and we used to go through every content of the newspaper. Now if I ask Satish sir, how many of your newspapers have been read by males? How many of your newsprints have been read by females? Which area? And this is very difficult to decipher, right? While on the digital side, we can go down to the and pinpoint the consumer behavior, what they have read. In fact, you will not believe, today we are targeting consumers. किसी के घर में एक television है, right? वो television and the mobile is there. That person is watching television. Through the television, we are understanding what kind of content that person is going through, and then doing a geofencing of all the family members who are also watching television, but they are sitting there, right? So we can tap to the consumer, and even today, we may not have the mobile number of a person. So the day you took a smartphone, including me, we all became unsmart, because we have given away our privacy. We do not have the mobile details or the names of the persons, but we know the entire consumer behavior, what time they got up, what was the first time they saw the screen, what places they've gone down to, what have they bought. Based on that, we make cohorts, and then we segment those people as per their requirements, and then we feed the thing that they need. So that is the difference between what we think an offline and an online. And today we are transgressing into the digital side.
Thank you, sir. It was an interesting point. I will come back to you if you have time, and probably you had something to ask him. I'll come back to you when it is time. So one interesting thing which we came to know is that 69 million new jobs were created, and 83 million jobs were destructed, which means the net destruction of jobs is almost 14 million.
This is, you're saying globally or domestic?
Globally, sir.
Globally, it's going to be 87 million.
Yeah.
Will be losing the jobs.
That's the latest.
And the good part is, the silver lining is that 97 million new jobs will be created.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to... The question is, are we ready for the change? Or are we making our students ready for this, what do we call it as future skilling? So, while it is easy to say that newer jobs are going to be created because the things have moved in such a manner. So, I would just like to first check with you, how do you see this creation of new jobs in the new space and destruction of some conventional jobs? So, how do we really... what kind of skilling we should give our future corporate leaders is something which I would like to hear from you.
Okay, when we are young, we are brought up with our parents constantly reminding us, time and tide waits for none. Today, I will add another T to it, time, tide, and technology. They do not wait for anyone. This is a fact that is going to happen. So, the question is so pertinent. Thanks, Dr. Iyer, for asking this. Are we up to run along with the change, or we are there to be a sitting duck and keep complaining that change is happening, we are losing a job, we cannot do anything about it? Employability, the definition of employability itself has changed. Today, employability is not about skills and capabilities, it is not about your qualification. Employability is a mixture of your hard skill and soft skill. It is about your empathy, it is about the flexibility, it is about adaptability, it is about your propensity to see the future and quickly change your direction and course that you are taking. Digital skill is not only about the computers and the coding. It is about digital ethics. It is about data privacy. Guys, the world is getting redefined and redefined fast. If you are not looking at what is happening in and around you, in spite of all your MBA certificate, in spite of all the master's, MPhil, PhD certificates, it's not going to help unless you are able to articulate how you are going to apply the knowledge that you are getting through your certificates and being flexible to become employable to what is going on in the society. Thank you.
Excellent. I think one important point what you're trying to talk about is also our chief guest spoke about communication. So how do you apply your knowledge, technology, whatever it is, and how do you communicate this to the the target audience? I was really scared when you said that you are able to track each and everything of what we are doing. That is what has become the norm. So suddenly some algorithm will suddenly start sending me advertisements of the product which I even just thought in my mind. Future, maybe it's going to be like that. So I'll come back to you, sir. How do you see this skill gap in your media, and what do you probably expect from our students who would like to go into the media industry in terms of technology or skill gap which you are able to visualize?
My message to all these rising stars here would be that sky is the limit for you guys. So, I just said how many media houses are there in terms of newspapers, publications, radio stations. So obviously, when it comes to recruitment of when we have any requirement, most of the students, when they come for interview, we look at certain parameters. How you can gain that, I'll just share a few examples. One, we just heard from our esteemed guest here, when it comes to articulation, communication skill is very critical in our business because media is all about communication. So spend much time reading of your interest. If you're keen in coming to media or any industry, ensure that you have a passion of following end to end. You know everything about that particular stream which you're going to pursue in life. So that is very critical. Second, at least for this batch of students, I can say that participate as much as possible in all your events, be it cultural events, be it allocation events, be it boardroom challenge, if it is a where you can case studies. At least in this group, invest much of your time in case studies because that is going to only give you confidence. When you do a case studies, I'm sure there's a bunch of team coming together, working on a particular project, and then you're going to research, deep dive on that particular topic. So that's going to give you a lot of experience when you actually go out in live interviews. Because it do happens when you are facing, recruiter in front of you. There are some students who may be very brilliant in academics in terms of scores on papers. But when it comes to articulation, when it comes to presenting himself in front of us, they give up the confidence. So this is the best age for this group here, where you should spend much of your time reading and much of your time ensuring that you debate, take part in debate, ensure that try and improve as much. Because this time, what you're going to spend here, you're not going to get in your working days. And to get into that space of working days, you need to ensure that your learning days are best utilized. So I would only add on to the points what we heard from the esteemed guest, that besides attitude and aptitude, we also look at communication skills, which is very important in a business. Also, just to add one more critical point is the critical thinking. Yeah, how we're going to solve a problem at a given point of time. That critical thing is also very important in our business because we see that whether he or she candidate is capable of taking additional responsibility. Because age of yours, one expect to do a lot of works. So obviously, first 10 years, first 5 years of your workspace is more about learning. So in that time, it should be, candidate is also looked at whether this candidate can take additional responsibility, whether he or she is only focused on a particular assignment, how is the team work between the candidates and the colleagues. So a lot of these parameters are looked at. So,
Thank you. Yeah. Sir, your take on skill gap from the point of view of your industry?
Okay. I don't know much of theory, so I can only relate with the practical things that have happened. Is when I say that 87 million jobs will be gone globally, and then I say that 97 million jobs will be introduced. So what is the difference? 87 million gone, 97 million coming in. So why do we bring in 97 million and why are these 87 million going out? It is because there is a shift from one skill set to the other skill set. Right? Let me give you one example. For example, in retail, most of us go down to retail stores, online, offline stores, right? So when we go down to an apparel store, for example, we go down to a Raymond store. So what do? We go down, and we go through the entire apparel, this thing, and then we need to go down to a trial room. And we do number of trials before we take a final call. So the salesman at the counter had to have a certain skill set to ensure that there are no customer walkouts of that retail store. Corona taught us one thing. Once the Corona came in, people were very wary of touching the apparel. So the new concept came in, which I don't know whether you people have seen it. It is called a virtual trial room, wherein you don't have to actually put on the apparel, and it gives you it superimposes on your body, and you can take a call on that. Finally, when you from a 10 option, you drill down to 2 options, and then if you finally take the final one, that you can take a call. So the skill set required now is different to what it used to be 10 years prior to today. So the idea is that there is a saying, who is stronger? Is a mouse stronger or a dinosaur is stronger? So most people will say a mouse, how can mouse be stronger to a dinosaur? But the actuality is that this mouse is stronger than a dinosaur because the mouse kept on changing to the adapting to the new surroundings. So those 87 million people going out may not have embraced technology or the changes in technology, what the 97 million would be doing it. So if I am not talking the language, suppose I start talking in Punjabi or I start talking in Urdu or a Bengali, I think most of you will say, yaar, ye kaun aadmi aa gaya, bula liya isko, kya baat kar raha hai? So that is not the language that I can communicate with you. So today I'm talking to you in English, I'm talking to you in Hindi, I'm talking to you in English. So you all can understand. So the idea is that you have to understand that the skill set required is different. A 10th standard guy, like my example for this company that I'm working for, Mob Avenue, we do a top line of almost 160 crores. The average age of my colleagues is 21. 30% are studying and doing the job. But the skill set of theirs is much better than the skill set of mine. So in terms of the actuality of the work being done in the company is of the youngsters who are embracing technology.
Right.
That's what it is.
Thank you. I think paucity of time, otherwise we will would love to continue. I would have taken some 30 seconds bite from each one of you, but I would like to quickly conclude that I think technology is here to stay, but human beings are superior to technology. So those people who are able to embrace technology and have control over the technology rather than being driven by the technology will be successful. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sirs. This was indeed an insightful panel discussion. We would like to invite Director Ma'am to extend a token of gratitude to the esteemed panelist. Thank you, ma'am, and thank you, sirs.
It's been indeed the most amazing part of the event. This is me, Nidhi Goradia, and my co-host Vidi Nayyar signing off for the first part of the program. We would now like to invite our co-host Sneha Thakur and Ayush Jalotra for the next part of the program. We request everyone to kindly settle and maintain silence.